Coming to you almost live from the Herbert I. Greenberg Studios at WHIG, it's Up Late with Sam Bass.
Good evening and welcome to Up Late with Sam Bass. Thanks for joining us tonight. Our guest tonight is Sal Ehmeada. You know him as Sal from Sal's Pizza. He's going to be on here and he's going to tell us his story. He's got some interesting stories about his life. As you know, I was in a commercial for Sal and I really didn't have to do a lot of acting because his pizza really is that good. So we're really fortunate and lucky to have him here tonight, and stay tuned because you're really going to enjoy his story. But first, I wanted to mention the Rocky Mount Chamber of Commerce is having a Chamber Power Breakfast on July 25th. It's a former CIA spy by the name of Brittany Butler. She has written a book called The Syndicate Spy. Very interesting read. She's going to be here to talk about her career in the CIA and the world of international espionage. She may talk a little bit about the Chinese spy balloon, what's going on in Russia, things like that. I think it's going to be super interesting, and the Chamber is very limited on tickets, so make sure you go to their website and get registered to go to this really interesting sounding event. Okay, I want to apologize already out of the gate, because this is going to be kind of I'm on my own here with the monologue because, as you know, there's a writer's strike going on. So I'm going to do the best I can. It could be worse. You could be sitting here watching John Check, but you're not. You're watching me instead. So, you know, we had a little bit of a spat on social media last week, but it's going to be okay, John, I promise you. So in Greenville the other day, a bear walked into a Mexican restaurant.
Oh no.
That's not a joke. It sounds like a joke, but this really happened. This was going on over there in Greenville at a Mexican place called Mi Cabana. I don't know if he was into looking refried beans or what he was looking, but it's the second sighting of a bear in Greenville. They also had one to try to get into the UBE bookstore over there. I think he was going to buy him some ECU pirate gear. I don't know. But the wildlife experts, their thing to say is, you know, when young bears are out, you know, they're looking for food, they're looking for a place to live, and their very important piece of advice is if you see one, do not approach the bear. Okay? Like you have to be told that. It's kind of like one of those things you'd say, don't stick a fork in a socket. Don't touch the stove. Don't iron while wearing the clothes. When you open up a bottle of aspirin, don't eat the cotton. I don't know why they have to instruct people of these things, but they do. Don't hold the wrong end of a chainsaw. If you've ever done that, you probably would never do it again because you wouldn't have a hand left. So it almost sounded like a top 10 list there, but you know, speaking of top 10 list, maybe we'll do a top 5 list because it's not going to be quite as good as a top 10. But what we're going to do tonight, we're going to give you the top 5 least intimidating mafioso names, since in honor of Sal being here tonight. Not saying anything about Sal, but you know, it is Sal. He's Italian. So here's the top 5 least intimidating mafioso names. Number 5. Sam Teets Patagallia. I like the first name, and I think this is a guy that used to run around with Al Capone, but Teets, I don't know about that. Number 4, Peter Mr. Bread Lacasio. I mean, what is Mr. Bread going to do, carb you to death? That's not intimidating at all. Number 3, here's a good one. Salvatore the golfer Avellino. What is so threatening about golf? I bet John Check plays golf. Well, he may be more of a pickleball player. Number 2, Ronnie, one-armed Ronnie Terruccio. So he may have been the guy that grabbed the chainsaw by the wrong end to get a name like one-armed Ronnie, and I'm guessing he's not a very good golfer. Get out. And the number one least intimidating mafioso name is Gerlando George from Canada. Canada? He's from Canada. George from Colombia would be a little bit more intimidating. It might have sounded a little bit more scary, but Canada? I don't think so. Speaking of Canada, our guest tonight, Sal, he spent some time in Canada. He did a lot of schooling up there. But before I bring him out, there's a couple of emails I wanted to go through that we received last week, and I encourage you to email. I'm going to get Robbie to put the email addresses up here. Send us an email. Let us know what you think, whether you like it, you hate it, you have suggestions for the show. But here's a couple. This one is from therealjohnc@gmail.com. It says, how does such a newcomer at the station get such a nice backdrop? Someone sounds a little bitter. I wonder who it could be. Here's another one from the same email. It says, what happened to your hair? Are you wearing makeup? Yep, that's a little petty. Let's see if there's any more in here. Here's a good one from number1fan27804@gmail.com. I got to tell you, I love the email address. It says, I watched your show last week. I was really impressed. I think you were amazing. That's nice. This is a lot better than the first one. I never knew you had such a lovely singing voice. I don't remember singing, but I was, drinking. A little. I thought you were well dressed and your hair looked really nice. That is nice. When anybody says my hair looks nice, that's a win for me. And I thought the pictures of your animals were really sweet. I'm sorry Sam made you hold the trombone the whole time. Wait a minute. That was an email that was actually probably intended for my guest that week, Emily Wagner. So I kind of built myself up there for nothing, unfortunately. But that's some emails, so send them, keep them coming. We want to know what's going on. We want to know what you think. Give me some good critiques, and we'll go from there with it. So listen, hang tight. Coming up right after this break, Sal from Sal's Pizza, right here in person. Okay, we're back. So as promised, I am sitting here with the man himself, Sal Ehmeada.
Yes, sir.
Sal's Pizza. Now everybody knows you as the pizza guy, but
pizza guy.
There's a lot more about you than meets the eye. There's a long story about how Sal got to be Sal, or where you are now in life.
Yes, sir. Yes, yes.
So you, how did you really get going to get to where you are today?
Well, Sam, it's progress like everybody else, but my choices were kind of a little different. I was blessed with a great dad, and he really wanted me to excel academically. So his only requirement from me is like, go to school, do well, and I'll give you all the money you need. So that's what I was doing, and I was at that time in Toronto doing aeronautical engineering. My first vision in life was wanted to be a pilot, but my vision didn't pass. So I decided to go into maintenance, and that I picked up that course. And I was in second year, and my dad wasn't able to send me money. There was certain circumstances that he couldn't send me any money, and I had to go fix it for myself. I also had a good friend of mine in class, in school. His father had an Italian restaurant. And I told him, like, I need a job. I'm no money. No money, nothing. So he said, okay. He talked to his dad, and the father was kind enough to take me as a dishwasher. So I'm standing there in the kitchen, washing dishes. And these guys on the line, I'm like, how much do I get paid? They said, I don't know, at that time, $3.50 or $4 an hour. I said, okay, better than nothing. So I'm watching the guys on the line like, who are these guys? They said, oh, those are the line cooks. Oh, the line cooks, okay. What do they do? Oh, they prepare the food on order. I said, okay, how much do they get paid? They said $7.50 an hour, double mine. Like, no way, I want to be a line cook. So I kept watching, and between dishes, I jump on the line, help them here and there. A couple of weeks, and it was spaghetti sauce, pick this, pick that, make a sandwich. Pretty easy, I liked it. I went to the boss, and like, I want to be a line cook. He goes, but you don't know anything about the line. I said, watch me. So he put me one evening there, and I really excelled, and he elected that I would be a line cook. So I go to school in the morning, and I cook at night. Then the pizza maker, of course, he made more money than the line cook. So the same idea, what is he making? He's making this, oh no, I want to make pizza. So I learned how to make a pizza, and I became the pizza maker. And the guy comes in the morning, big belly, his apron, his cup, supposed to be coffee, but it's always wine. And he's yelling at everybody. So Sam, I asked him, who's that guy? I said, that's the chef. Like, the chef? Okay. Well, how much does he make? They said he made around that time $800, $850 a week. I'm like, oh my God, that's a fortune. I want to be a chef. How do I become a chef? I asked, and they said, you either do years in the kitchen, work for years and years until you qualify, or you become aware enough to run a kitchen, or you can go to school and get a culinary degree. Well, being the studious, handsome man I am, I went to, there's a George Brown College in Toronto. Excellent culinary program they have. And I took their the shortest program they have was 1 year. Mm-hmm. So I took it twice a week, and I finished in about 1.5 years, 2 years. By then, everybody knows me in the store, and I'm the good pizza maker, I'm the good line cook, and I came to the boss, my friend's dad, and I said, Mr. So-and-so, I want to be the chef. He goes, I told you can't be a chef unless you do da ba ba ba. I said, okay, or go. He says, or go get me a culinary thingy, degree. I said, okay, here it is. He looked, he was shocked. He was just ecstatic. He goes, you did that while you're going to school and working here? I said, yes. So out of, I don't know, appreciation to what we did. And his son used to work with us in the kitchen too. He says, when do you guys finish school this year for summer break? It was April. He booked us to Italy.
Wow.
He sent us, me and his son, to Italy to meet a good friend of his that he called and recommended us for. At that time, you're talking 90s. Angelo Cappellini. He was rated one of the top 10 in the world.
What's his name?
Angelo Cappellini.
Angelo
Cappellini,
Cappellini.
like a pasta. Yes, Cappellini.
Yeah, got you.
So Angelo was working for a company, an Italian company, the Saptini food chain, which is the Calvary clan of the food industry there. They do fabulous dining rooms across the planet. Great hotels, they're there. And we apprenticed with them for that summer, and then a year later I came back, I worked for him. I worked with Angelo, and I became actually one of his arms. He used to rely on me a lot. Mm-hmm. And Sam, I traveled the world with that. From Bangkok, Thailand, to South America, to Latin America, to Europe. I went everywhere cooking.
So how much time did you spend in Italy?
Off and on, at least 5 years of my life.
Now, what were you telling me about Italy? What was so great about Italy?
Oh, I hope no. God must have been Italian. That's my conclusion.
He may have.
Because he has given Italy so much. You go to Italy, and it's almost everything there is like best. Best looking girls, best looking guys, best looking clothes, best looking wine, best tasting wine, best beaches. Oh my God, the beaches in Italy are amazing. And for some reason, everything is fulfilling there. I don't know what it is. I go to Spain, I go to France, I go to Germany, but Italy is different. One day you need to go.
I think I need to.
Yeah,
I think I may actually be from there. Now that you tell me all this about it.
Yeah, oh, you feel the same way. See, one more thing and come on beside our great looks.
Oh, yeah, that's great.
We both Italian.
So we were talking about, I know we're both big music lovers.
Yes.
If you go to Sal's restaurant, you will notice the Sinatra, the Dean Martin, the Rat Pack music that's playing.
That's my era. That's.
It's not necessarily my era, but I love it. I love that music.
Well, I didn't live then, but it's what I actually associate with.
So we were talking this Dean Martin versus Frank Sinatra thing.
Yes. Which is your favorite?
My favorite, of course, is Frank Sinatra.
Mine is Dean Martin. And I tell you why. Because Dean Martin is the only Italian cowboy I know.
Because he made cowboy movies.
Of course. Frankie didn't.
Well, he made a bunch of movies. He
was the bad guy, but he was not a cowboy.
I've never heard of. Well, they used to be the spaghetti westerns. You know, the Italian spaghetti westerns.
Yeah.
Clint Eastwood went over there, and.
But that's Clint Eastwood. That's about.
But he wasn't Italian.
Yeah, no, he wasn't Italian. But Dean Martin, no, he's an Italian with the legitimate claim on cowboyhood.
Yeah. So when you were over there in Italy, did you ever get over like Sicily, over that area?
Actually, my mother is from just around Sicily. And,
that explains a lot right there.
And I tell you what, you say Sicily, I tell you Palermo is one of those places that you just cannot not love it. It's a town, city sitting right on the Med, and it's hugging it in a kind of a curve. Mm-hmm. Wherever you go in the city you look, you see the Med. So it's just one of those.
So Med, you mean Mediterranean?
Yeah, Mediterranean.
Okay. So, so you got family from Sicily. You're Italian.
Yes, sir.
I'm not going to insinuate that you're related with a certain group of people over there, even though you look like you could be. And you kind of talk that way.
Been accused.
Okay, so we'll kind of leave it.
I know a guy.
So I will say this. So we talked about some of the names of some of the nicknames of the mafia guys. So if Sal were to have one, what would yours be?
It'd be Sal the Face.
Sal the Face. Perfect.
What would yours be?
Sal the Chin.
Sal the Chin. Oh no, Sal Handsome. We'll go with that one.
Sal
what
Handsome.
would yours be, Sam?
I don't know. Probably Sam the Lost. I don't know.
Oh no, we'll find you a good one. We need a better one than that.
I don't have one. You're gonna have to help me create one.
Sure, you're gonna have to. You know, it's a cultural thing. You have to go through stages and keep coming to the store. And I remind you, and one day, boom, a name will be born.
Well, it kind of has to take a life of its own.
Exactly. It's all these people have their names, and their names expresses something.
Right. So let's see. What could I be? Sam the.
Handsome's taken by me, so look.
Yeah, I can't do
else.
handsome. Can't do pretty face. That's already been used. Or pretty boy, or any of those. I don't want. That doesn't sound very good, anyhow.
No,
we'll work on that.
Yes.
And the next time Sal comes on here, we will have a name.
I'll
for
have
me.
a name for you.
Okay,
I promise
we're gonna work
I'll
on
have a
that
name for you.
Okay, so I did want to touch on one other thing. You got a degree in engineering, correct?
Yes, sir. By education, I am an engineer. I started with math at the University of Winnipeg, and I was so good at it. I became a professor assistant. So I was actually running math labs, exams. I would mark the exams booklets for the professor and take it to him. So I was pretty engaged with it, and my dad then, he was very proud because he thought I am going to have a career in the academic world, which is what he really wanted for me. But things work differently.
Yeah, that's life. That's how life works. You said your parents were both from Europe, or?
Yes, my mom and dad, they kind of like students. They were in England, and they fell for each other, and I was the mistake. Well, what a gorgeous mistake there.
Yeah, I got you there. I understand that.
Yeah, so, you know, I lived most of my life kind of swung between them, and then later on my stepmom, who became my actual real, she captured my heart, and she's the one that raised me and took care of me, and she still is. She's a lovely lady. I cannot start the day without seeing her face. So I'm always on video call with her in the morning.
That's great.
Yeah, yeah.
So I wanted to say I did make a commercial, help make a commercial for your restaurant.
Yes.
And we got to know each other very early on when you opened up over there, and
yes.
It's one of my favorite places to go. And if you haven't been to Sal's, you have to go. And I've told him I think I order the same thing every time I walk in there. But
white pizza.
The white pizza. But, you know, when I like it, I'm going to kind of stay with it.
Yeah. Yeah, why change if you like it?
That's right. So maybe I have to try another dish or something. What is your favorite dish to cook?
Oh, to cook, I'll cook everything. Making pizza is my favorite stuff. This is my favorite station when I stand there, spin the dough, sauce, cheese.
Right.
And the thing about this business, what really drew me into it and kept me in it, is it has its own adrenaline. It's a rush. When you're under pressure, you're on the line, you get 150 people sitting in the dining room and they all order together.
Yeah.
It's like it never works at like one table at a time.
You're like the old guy that has to be spinning the plates and keep them all up the whole time.
Absolutely.
Right?
And then you get the crew, you get the team that you get either coordinate the appetizer with the main course, with what goes out first, with the pizza, with the pasta, and those are two different kind of a section of the line. It has its own rush. Mm-hmm. That nothing else actually came close to, and that's what I got stuck in it. Very tough business, but I was lucky to make it in it, and I love it. I just love it. Like I said, by education, I should have been an engineer. And Dad was disappointed. Like, you're an engineer, why are you in a restaurant? I'm like, Dad, I love it. But
what's the old saying? If you love your job, you never really work the rest of your life.
Absolutely. And
so if you were going to recommend another dish other than pizza for me, what would you recommend?
Our pastas are amazing. If you are into seafood, we got the Suppa di Pesce, we got the linguine pescatore. If you like the clams, we got those in red and white sauce. Other than that, Alfredo, if you are into the creamy, northern Italian kind of a style. But if you want to go down to the deep south, where the meatball and the lasagna talks, that's our tomato sauce and our bolognese sauce.
Right. So the next time I come in, I'm getting something different. I'm going to let you recommend something for me.
I have one of my customers. He has been with me since Nashville. So it's over 3 years I've been feeding him. And every time he walks in, nobody understands what he says. He says, "Tell Sal I want the Sal special." So the Sal special surprised me, Sal. He sits with his daughter, and he has a gorgeous little girl. I love that girl. They sit, they only ask for their drinks. The rest I pick every time they come. And do you know how hard he's the hardest customer to actually serve for me? Because to sit there and try to, what shall I send him? What shall I send him today? It's easier when you pick.
Right.
But next time you're in the house, I'll send you this Sal special and surprise you with something cute.
And one other thing I'd like to say about Sal, if you've got a small child, go to Sal's because he's great with the kids. I mean, I've seen him in action many times.
They're the best thing on the planet. Two things in the world. If they like you, you're a good person. If dogs and children like you, you're a good man. I don't care what you do.
That's exactly what I'm
They have their
100%.
instincts, and thanks God, I call them the Salaronis. And I brought them a saddle now. We have a saddle to pretend that we go for a horse ride, in my cowboy kind of a corner that I'm starting building.
Yeah.
They love it. I mean, I always have a kid riding the saddle.
Well, make sure you get a picture of Dean Martin, his cowboy hat, to put in there.
I have 3 pictures actually of Dean Martin coming up in the place.
Okay.
John Wayne, we put John Wayne and Marilyn Monroe first. The reason is I wanted to take off the regular bathroom signs, the picture of the girl standing there and the picture of the boy. So I thought I'd put Marilyn Monroe on this door and John Wayne on the other one. And that would be my sign of like girls and boys.
Okay, maybe people won't get too confused.
Well, yeah, I mean, John Wayne is not a girl.
Well, that's true. That's true. We don't think he was.
Unless you're a John Wayne, don't.
Look, Sal, I really appreciate you coming on. You're a good guy. You're a good friend. Thank you so much. We're actually going to have you back sometime soon.
Anytime.
Have to report back on my mafia name.
Yes, sir.
And the dish that you're going to serve for me.
Surprise you with. Absolutely, Mr. Bass. You've been great to us, and we love having you there anytime you come.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Y'all, you've been listening to Sal from Sal's Pizza. Make sure you check him out. I'll say it like I did in the commercial. It's the best pizza in town.